Mr. President, America knows you're real. They know the Democrats are the anti-American globalist, allied with the Chi-Coms, radical Islam, the unelected EU, and others. If you come out before the midterms and make the censorship the big issue and them trying to steal the election, and if you don't come out and point out that the communist Chinese have penetrated and infiltrated and are way, way worse than the Russians, because it's true, and the Democrats are scared of that coming out, and you've got the Feinstein info coming out, and more is about to come out, just as I've told everybody, then they will be able to steal the midterms and start the impeachment. It's the right thing to do, Mr. President. It's the truth. And it's crazy to believe it. It's crazy to understand it. I know you've been told this, from our technology to the South China Sea, to everything, to them having 98% of rare earth minerals. They didn't do that by themselves. They were given that. David Rockefeller said he was going to move everything to China. They said they were going to do all this. And now you've stepped in, the country's coming back from the dead, they're desperate to stop it, and they're trying to stop you and every American from having their speech by defaming me, lying about what I've done, Soros financing fake lawsuits to give it legitimacy, and now deplatforming me ahead of it because the lawsuits are all getting thrown out because they're lies. 90% of what's in these things are total frauds. See, the globalists call themselves, and their hordes of paid agitators and bureaucrats and college professors, they call themselves the resistance. And they bully everybody in their system, in corporate systems and government, you name it, to submit to them. They think they've broken your back. They think they've got control of your life. They think that they run and govern your destiny. And if you look at DrudgeReport.com, we're going to play when we come back where he warned 2.5 years ago of what was coming. He has it as the main link, Alex Jones Live. How dare Drudge defile them? How dare he challenge Google, Facebook, Twitter, and their subsidiaries, YouTube, and all the rest, like iTunes, that have all banned me in the last day so that you can't actually hear what we're here saying, so that you can't hear what we're actually doing. They don't want you to see the success that Trump has had. They don't want you to understand how much success we can have. And they don't want you to know what I'm going to cover. We've got to back the guest off, because I have to cover this, because we need to communicate with the White House and everybody else right now. The globalists think they're going to break your back. They think they're going to break your will. When I come back, I'm going to brief the world. I'm going to brief the White House on what they already know to be true and what needs to happen. This is communist China with the EU and Juncker openly saying that they are manipulating, that they are controlling our elections in America. This is the true election meddling, as Congressman Gates and others have said, contributions in kind when conservative voices are regulated and shut down over 90% right now. Well, so far, only Tucker Carlson, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, some, and of course Matt Drudge, big time, have said, look, the left is trying to shut down Alex Jones. They're demonizing what he said and done. They're taking it out of context. But regardless, once big tech organizes in a monopoly and tries to deplatform somebody everywhere, that is to set a precedent to do it officially to conservatives ahead of the midterms. Now, since they've got big sites now, and Congressman Gates reported on this 2 weeks ago, finally, we tried to get the info to him, that they have sites that track shadow banning. The average conservative, we put up the graph earlier, is shadow banned 93%. Even Facebook even admitted a few months ago that they were shadow banned 80% on average. I had told you that number as well because we could look at it in Google Analytics ourselves. I'm just giving you numbers here. Okay, that's why they keep being accurate. Now, Paul, they really fear Paul Watson even more than me because he's really good looking. Young people like him even more. I have a young audience, but also a bigger, older audience. Paul doesn't really have a big, old audience. We have a big military audience, but he has new potential millennium voters. Paul is 97% banned. 97% banned. Now, Candace Owens is also really hot with black voters, women, and young people. She retweeted what the New York Times writer put out saying white people are subhuman, and she was banned. Now they're saying it's an error. That's what they did to me at first, too, just to get the idea out with a popular personality, oh, that it's an accident. Oh, we accidentally banned Trump's Twitter. We accidentally banned Sean Hannity's Twitter. And then later, oh, we're going to give him a strike. Oh, until you hear it over and over again, you think, well, he's had a lot of chances. Go ahead and get rid of him. So there's a formulae, and I've been under it for years, so no one can tell you about it better than me. I run a multimedia operation. In every way we can get out, we get out. We don't charge for what we put out. Other people do. It's one reason we're on so many platforms, thousands of them, because I just want to reach hearts and minds. I pay $500,000 a year to beam satellites into Asia where no money comes back. I pay $140,000 a year to beam high-powered shortwave into Africa and the Middle East. I get no money from it. It's on former Voice of America transmitters because we are the Voice of America. We are promoting free market and God and country and sovereignty and really taking care of our nation. And that's why I backed Trump. I didn't back Clinton. I didn't back Bush Jr. I didn't back Obama because they were all globalists that vacation together and call each other brother. It's sick. So you got this New York Times writer. They found hundreds of more tweets saying she hopes all the whites die, how much she hates cops, how she loves it when they end up dying. She's a monster. But Sherry Zhang is allowed to do whatever she wants and actually say hateful, vicious things. And guess what? I think that witch, that arrogant little SJW Antifa pig, has a right to be on the New York Times editorial board because they're a free country, huh? But this same group wants me shut off, and they can't show you the tweets. Sherry Zhang can't show you the tweets of me. No one will show you what it is I actually said. Drudge Report linked 4 months ago after Parkland to our video of where I said the police stood down at Parkland. YouTube removed it and put a strike on me saying that I said nobody died and they were crisis actors. When Drudge linked to our video, it got 14 million views. They took it down. I put it back up on our platform, 14 million views, totally viral. YouTube had to take the strike down, and they said to Bloomberg, they said somebody inside our organization who was recently trained with the Southern Poverty Law Center went too far and deleted thousands of channels. So again, I'm going to explain something. You know about it when I'm getting banned or shadow banned because I'll make a big deal about it. Matt Gaetz was shadow banned, and we told him 2 weeks before. Roger Stone told him on the phone and in text messages, we've run you through their system. We have sites that look at this. We send him links. You're already 90% banned on Twitter. Gaetz went up during the committee hearing and said, you're a private company. You can do whatever you want, not even getting it. So the next day, they shadow banned him 99%. They go, this guy's an idiot. We all just lied to him and said, we don't censor any conservatives. He said, that's fine. Just don't talk about killing congressmen. And then the next day, they banned him down to nothing. Then he said he felt victimized. And I'm not trying to put Matt Gaetz down. Just come on, man. Get it together. Figure out what's going on. Mainstream corporate media is fake news. They're the enemy of the American people, like the president said. And now they're coming after everybody. Now, if you want to get into the real reason all this is happening, I know it's demoralizing. I don't want to demoralize people, but facts are facts, like having cancer. It's operable. We can fix it, Mr. President. You know the Office of Personnel Management was done by insiders. That's even come out in intelligence reports. They try to keep it quiet because it's such treason, it's unbelievable. We know China owns the majority of our debt after the private Federal Reserve. We know they now own Hollywood. You've helped block some of them buying up American Bandstand, a few final things they didn't own. We know that they're teaching Maoism in the colleges, and all 50 major state-funded colleges have major Chi-Com infiltration. Some of them are run by the Chi-Coms. Even the Washington Post had to admit. We know that the People's Army of China has been caught running Dianne Feinstein's operation. We know their penetration is hundreds of times that of the Russians. We know they're involved in election meddling, and we're so arrogant they went to Davos a year and a half ago and said they would stop your agenda, along with Juncker. Mr. President, America knows you're real. They know the Democrats are the anti-American globalist, allied with the Chi-Coms, radical Islam, the unelected EU, and others. If you come out before the midterms and make the censorship the big issue and them trying to steal the election, and if you make the fact that we need an Internet Bill of Rights and antitrust busting on these companies, if they don't back off right now, and if you don't come out and point out that the communist Chinese have penetrated and infiltrated and are way, way worse than the Russians because it's true, and the Democrats are scared of that coming out, and you've got the Feinstein info coming out, and more is about to come out, just as I've told everybody, then they will be able to steal the midterms and start the impeachment. It's the right thing to do, Mr. President. It's the truth. And it's crazy to believe it. It's crazy to understand it. I know you've been told this, from our technology to the South China Sea to everything, to them having 98% of rare earth minerals. They didn't do that by themselves. They were given that. David Rockefeller said he was going to move everything to China. They said they were going to do all this. And now you've stepped in. The country's coming back from the dead. They're desperate to stop it, and they're trying to stop you and every American from having their speech by defaming me, lying about what I've done, Soros financing fake lawsuits to give it legitimacy, and now deplatforming me ahead of it because the lawsuits are all getting thrown out because they're lies. 90% of what's in these things are total frauds. And they know we're getting stronger, and they know we're moving forward, and they now have made the wrong move. I believe they've jumped the shark. I believe they've won the battle, but they're going to lose the war if you, with your vision, continue to take action and make free speech and this internet antitrust garbage the #1 issue and move against them now. If you don't, they are going to steal the midterms. They're already doing it with economic contributions to the Democrats, blocking everybody else's speech that supports America and making it great again and your agenda.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
I'm a nasty woman.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
We knew it was coming. The whole thing was formulaic. First, demonize InfoWars, lie about us, build a straw man, then sue us to add credibility to that, then have a few fake strikes on YouTube and Facebook with nebulous terms like bullying children and Islamophobia. And then voila, 2 weeks later, ban InfoWars completely off of dozens of major platforms where we were all in the top 5 or top 10 news feeds. CNN, MSNBC, the rest of the dying news system like the New York Times and the Washington Post, groups that are propped up by the Mexican kingpin in the case of the New York Times, Carlos Slim, in the case of the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, they can't allow something like InfoWars with a fraction of the crew or the money to be ranked higher than them on iTunes or on YouTube. They can't stand it when people like Mark Dice has more subscribers on his channel, he doesn't work for InfoWars, but he's an example of it, than CNN. And so their answer is have CNN, the New York Times, BuzzFeed, and all these other corrupt organizations openly lobby for us to be removed and then organize their listeners, their viewers, the different university organizations, Antifa, Sleeping Giants, and a bunch of other groups to then go mass flag us in the community guidelines, which again is something out of 1984 or a Kafka novel where you don't even know what you've supposedly done. You can't face your accusers. Then you get defamed by the claims of the big tech giants when they ban you.
And that's the truth. We see this so many times. No matter if you believe what he's saying is true or not, it is the absolute truth. We see this with Diamond and Silk. We see this with Mark Dice, High Impact. Basically, any conservative and liberal or anyone who's a free thinker start doing better and going against the grain, and they start doing better than the actual outlets, then we start seeing strikes, we start seeing demonetizations and all this stuff. It's like walking around on eggshells when it comes to these people. So, that's what they do. they try to bring up anything to dehumanize you, to where it seems like it's okay if something bad were to happen to you. You losing your job, you losing your platform, you losing your freedom of speech. It seems justified, but it feels like a scene. It feels like a scene like where we all stepped in the time machine and went back to Nazi Germany. Because this is exactly what happened to the Jews. Nothing has changed. They started demonizing them. They treated them less than people, so it made it look like it's okay to do what you need to do to these people. Because they treat them not like people. They treat them like a bunch of, something less than. Something less than an actual person. So it seemed justified to do this to them. And it couldn't be more further from the truth. What has happened to InfoWars and Alex Jones is absolutely criminal. And hopefully some legal action will be taken from this, because us conservatives, us libertarians, and all those who are free thinkers and believe in the rights of free speech need to take this bull by the horns and go full attack mode. Because they're not playing around. It's time for us to stop playing around too.
Make no mistake, this is being set up to create a precedent, in their own words, for you, nationalists, conservatives, libertarians, Christians, people that stand up to the New York Times editorial board member saying whites are subhuman and should be extincted. This is the agenda they're pushing that is being funded by Communist China. Out of everything I've broken down so far, that's the key. Apple has officially moved to China and is letting the government basically run Apple. And that, of course, is iTunes. Google is building a huge censorship search engine for them, and whistleblowers from inside Google say they're preparing to use it here in America. In fact, they're beta testing different parts of the censorship system for China on American conservatives, nationalists, and Trump supporters.
You know, what he just said right there kind of makes a lot of sense. Because if you don't know, Nike gets a lot of their stuff made over there in China, and then they sell it back to us. And this is why a lot of people who are sponsored by Nike, like a lot of people who were in sports, LeBron James and all those alike, hate Trump so much, because Trump is leveling out the playing field. So they hate Trump for doing that. So, yeah, that's basically what's going on there. But I don't know about all this other stuff, though. It could be true. A lot of the stuff Alex Jones has said in the past came out to be true. So, and plus the Las Vegas shooting, where other people turned the other way and moved on to other news outlets and stuff, Alex Jones stayed on it. So, yeah. A lot of these people talk about, oh, well, Alex Jones and blah, 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 blah. Well, if you really think about it, just really think about this. Alex Jones is doing something that they can't do, which is actual journalism. Really digging in there, staying on the topic, staying on the attack. And they can't stand it.
So bigger than just trying to manipulate the election and give huge contributions in kind to the Democrats by blocking conservatives, libertarians, conservative candidates, conservatives in office, and trying to make sure they can win back the House to try to impeach Trump, that's only one part of it. The bigger issue is they don't like InfoWars exposing the fact in great detail that Communist China owns our debt, owns and controls Hollywood now, is involved in massive domestic propaganda operations, and is working with the Democratic Party and with the EU and others to try to block the Trump agenda. They even talk about this at Davos. So this is 21st century warfare. It's happening right now, and it's designed to silence the American people and other populist movements around the world who are trying to struggle free from this corporate totalitarianism. I've had a lot of top lawyers call me today, and they say, Alex, we need to sue Apple. We need to sue all these groups. They clearly are involved in cut and dry antitrust activities, working with other big corporations to delist you and block you from the marketplace of ideas. So then when they demonize you, you don't have a way to respond to them, and they can destroy you. And then with that model, move on against everybody else. Almost 5 months ago, the Wall Street Journal had the new CEO of News Corp brag that by 2019, the internet will be basically paid. He said, Barry Dillers also said this as well. He owns Newsweek, so that's a Democrat on the other side, that the internet will be paid soon. Watch, believe me, he said, because they're setting the precedent to deplatform InfoWars and WikiLeaks as the test point example. And once they've done that, they're doing it to everybody. Now, what do we need to do? We need to call the White House, go to Trump's rallies, call the campaign, let them know that this is about deplatforming conservatives and libertarians and other Republican candidates around the country to steal the election. It's true election meddling, not like the made-up Russia meddling garbage. This is out in the open and naked. And the Democrats have been very, very public about it. So if we simply have real congressional hearings about this, where I'm called and others are called, they will be exposed.
That is true. This is what we need to do, man. This is what we need to do, because this is beyond scary. This is beyond scary. We have so much right now, and Alex Jones, he's really been pushing this whole Trump train, and really been pushing about what the left has been eager what they're wanting to do. A lot of stuff that Alex Jones has theorized, most of this seems now justified on what they have done. Let me explain. What these people have done when they shut down Alex Jones, they basically justified everything that he was talking about. Because what they did, they shut him down for no reason. Like I said before, hate speech is not a thing. Everyone gets offended. So you want to make a law about that? Whatever happened to sticks and stones? Literally, our whole society is being run by a bunch of 2-year-olds. A bunch of 2-year-old minds. Oh, you can't say that. That's hurtful to my feelings. I don't know. Grow some tougher skin. It's pitiful. Pitiful, man. This is wrong with our generation. Instead of dealing with the problem, they want to either shut the problem out, just block it out all entirely. Well, what they really should be doing is just basically ignore it. So what? Alex Jones, he makes all these theories and stuff, all these theory videos and everything. You know how many people on YouTube and on the internet that make a lot of theories up? I got people talking about, oh, the presidents and all the candidates are nothing but a bunch of lizard men. Whether that's true or not is still a theory. You're going to shut people up that think like that? What about the people who believe in flat earth? What about the people who believe that, oh, the moon landing was done in Hollywood? You going to shut those people up too? It was not talking about the people who get offended on a day-to-day basis. I'm offended whenever a libtard comes and talks to me about their Hillary Clinton or Black Lives Matter nonsense. Should I shut down their platform? Should I kick down their doors and throw them out of their homes? Oh, hate speech. Should I do that? They're like, oh, Nate, you're homophobic. Well, maybe you're Christian phobic. You don't like us Christian people. If you're going to defend Muslims over there, Islamic phobic, you're going to defend them. How about you defend our Christian rights? You're Christian phobic. You're heredophobic. You don't like straight men. You don't like straight families. What if I start doing that? Start labeling you like that? It demonizes you, makes you less than a person, so if something bad happens to you, it seems justified. This is their narrative. This is what they pushed. This is what they pushed. So they made it right for them to shut down Alex Jones. And we had a lot of people praising them because of this. They're such hypocrites. So much so. Because if they know, if the tables were turned, they wouldn't like it. Just think about it. If a conservative Republican who's way right-leaning was a, who had a tech monopoly like Facebook, Google, Twitter, Apple, and they start censoring everybody who said anything bad about Trump. Take away their voice, deplatform them, demonize them, label them crazy, conspiracy theorists, everything. Start labeling them this, taking away their platform, so you just think that they're crazy and you seem that it's justified. You wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that at all. So why does it make it okay for one group of people to do this to another group? That makes no sense. You wouldn't like that. And if history serves us right, this always gets turned around. The table's always turned, and you don't like it. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Again, all the links down in the description, and I'll keep you posted.